The aliens have built this station. There's lots of bits on it. Not sure what half of it does. It does actually tell us what things are. For example, defense arrays and everything else. Not good. Space work, so that'll probably be a stockyard of some kind. Not ideal.
This video is sponsored by Instant Gaming. Be sure to click on the link in the description to get this game for cheaper.
Terra Invicta is available for a good £18.51 at the time of this recording, which is 47% cheaper than buying it from there. Once you've bought it, you'll be given a Steam CD key which you can just stick into Steam quite easily and begin playing very quickly. Make sure to click the link in the description, that one, and you will get this great deal. Not only will you be helping me, you'll be helping yourselves out with saving some money. As always, thank you. Hello everybody, welcome back to Earth, where we are currently under threat of alien invasion. They've stuck a few of their aircraft flying around somewhere, I can't quite remember where. But they have escaped and are turning the minds of people. We are the Humanity First faction, where we will do everything in our power to murder the aliens and anybody who supports them. Currently, we are in control of Spain thoroughly and the Czech Republic. We've got our hand in Benelux. I've just started to tickle Poland. What I'm aiming to do at the moment is get thoroughly into France. Because if we can do that, then we can merge all of these nations into the European Union, where it will act as one country. This is proving quite difficult, but gradually we will get there. Spacecraft at the moment are off the menu. This is very early days. What we need to do is to keep getting our people further into France and take over these positions that the other factions have grabbed in France. So we're going to go for a crackdown in this area, but it's going to be quite significantly expensive. This is the agent that we have to do it. She is an operative. Really, we could do with a rebel. Well, that's going to take a little bit of time. We also need to make sure we protect our current positions in the countries that we do currently control. And make sure that we turn the population into our favor. That way, they will push out all of the other factions and make things easier for us. The other factions do not currently have these defended, so we're going to try and grab these while we can. This includes lots of public support missions, which we can use to gain more influence here. There are alien life forms currently in Argentina. We can go and try and take them out, but really I want to try and get control of France first. That is going to be rather difficult. It might be easier if we were to just grab other European Union nations first. It will be easier to grab hold of France once we have control over more of the European Union. Might actually get the operative to try and take out some of these alien life forms first. That's probably a good shout. We have managed to incinerate the alien life forms and plants that are growing there, so that's excellent. That will hurt them significantly. Don't want them spreading over to America. Bit of a setback. We've just been pushed out of France entirely, so that is not good. What I am going to actually do is play about a little bit more and see if Africa is actually worth an investment. Because what we can do is, I believe, create a federation and then eventually create a single unity. I think that's how it works. For example, here, all these regions that France has and all of these claimed ones are which are countries which can be formed into the European Union as one entity, so it'll be classed as one country. Another example would be Russia, with all of its former colonies or occupied territory like Ukraine and such, when the Soviet Union was a thing. So I'm pretty sure you can actually create a federation, and that way then should be able to stick them all together. I'm sure that's how it works. So I'm going to actually try this in Africa, because if we can, then all of this will actually be a good point to do. And not only that, but our faction of Humanity First is a little bit extremist, which means the African nations are more easily susceptible to us. I'm just going to try it with these two countries, Central African Republic and Chad. We already have huge amounts of popularity there, so we'll see. It can increase unrest in France gradually, which will gradually make it easier for us to actually get in there. So I'll keep doing that with this lady. See how much we can actually do with that. You see, now I've got control of these two nations. We can influence the allies, and we've just done that, and we may improve relations further in April 22nd. So this will be a good test to see if we can actually get a federation of some kind built. But we're also going to need to wait half a year as well before we can really have exclusive authority in the nation. In these two nations, as you can see, they're pretty much at guerrilla war and everything else, and they are totalitarian, which is good for us. So we're going to have to invest lots in military and in unity. This should reduce the unrest, making things nice for us. But still, this is only really a test. So with the recent developments, we've managed to get Czech Republic and Slovakia. These nations don't seem to be like, why would you go there? But it is a nation that we can grab and start to influence the whole European Union as a whole. That's what we're going for. We do need France. We're going to get the unity up as much as possible. This will spread our influence in the population now. We also need to protect our interests. We've also managed to grab Poland, which we're going to do the same. We're going to have to defend our interests here to stop other people from grabbing them. And even do the same in Hungary now if we wanted to. But we do have to be careful. We can only control so many nations. Might even try a few more African ones just for the giggles. What I may even do is attempt to get an army built in some of these, which was going to take a very long time, but can be used to slowly conquer all of Africa. Especially seeing as all of this area does appear to be quite leaning towards the servants, which will give the aliens whatever they want, which is not ideal. Technology wise, right now we want these clandestine cells. These will grant us the ability really to have another councillor and increase our control points, which is these are what we need to control nations. So we'll get that done as soon as. A lot of the other ones are mainly for space, which we're not going to get into just yet. One of our operatives can take over an organization, seeing as we've got quite a bit of cash now. This one will grant us some extra operations income, which is good for taking out other people's assets and things, and also give the guy some more persuasion, which is desperately needed to try and take control of France. And we've got this one which we can do, which will give us some more research, which I'm not too bothered about, and a few other little bits. We could take over Lightstar Orbital, which is headquartered in London. This will give us some boost, which is the ability to move things in and out of the solar system, which is actually quite nice. Well, it's not our first priority right now though. So we're going to go for this one. See if we can get some more influence. Purchase that for a lot of cash, but it should help us out significantly. I'm going to try to take over more of Africa. We do want to try and lower these unrest in the countries, though. We can use our operatives for this as well. We still have our holdings in Europe. We have Spain, Czech Republic, Poland, Slovakia, all firmly under our control. We pretty much have the Netherlands and Belgium and things. It's going to take a little bit of time to get more influence in there. Then we're going to have another dabble at France. Some new global technology has been established, which means that we're going to be looking at more propulsion theories in outer space. For example, a nuclear fission in space, which should grant us the technology, once we've unlocked it, to power spaceships with them. More territories under our control, which is good. An alien ship has been detected, and it has arrived in low Earth orbit, so we can expect another crash landing soon. There we go. They have actually crash landed in the country we've just taken over, which isn't fantastic. Our influence in these European nations has certainly increased mass amounts now. Once we've got them up to around 80%, I'll be happy. Then we can start thinking about building a potential army, or even getting some space flight controls done to increase our boost, because soon enough we're going to be able to build things on the moon and such. We're going to want to be able to harvest the resources from it. We're going to investigate this alien crash site straight away.
Aliens.
Another global technology has been researched. Advanced superconductors and things. This will all be to do with space tech. The aliens are sticking more things in space. This will be because we can now see it with Deep System Skywatch, which allows faction to track alien vessels and structures anywhere in the solar system. This immediately reveals all alien vessels and habitats within our detection range. If we were to zoom out of the solar system, you can see they have various bits. Vector 7, what is that? That will be a spacecraft, I think. Vector 3 is, and that's transferring to low Earth orbit. So is Vector 4, and 5, and 6. 6 is actually a larger vessel. It will get here in, well, next year. So that's alright. Vector 7 is also a larger vessel. The aliens have built this station. There's lots of bits on it. Not sure what half of it does. It does actually tell us what things are. For example, defense arrays and everything else. Not good. Space work, so that'll probably be a stockyard of some kind. Not ideal. While we're all here trying to wrestle control of other nations, we're going to try and grab a bit more of Africa and see what happens. And then I think I'll stop with that for a while. We're going to try our efforts back in France again. We're getting close to our control point management thing. We still have full control over Spain, Czech Republic, Slovakia and Poland, which is significant. Most of the Netherlands and Belgium. A chunk of Africa, just to see what we can do with it. I do want to see if we can form a federation and get them all together. Whether that is through military conflict, I'm not sure, but we'll see. Nice, we've actually managed to grab a position again in France. That is good for us. What we can do is try to increase unrest in here. We'll just have to see what we can do. I'm going to go for unity and see if we can get more of our people in here. We can slowly change the government by smashing out the unity. That'll change it more towards our favour. As you can see, our popularity in these nations are becoming more and more prominent, meaning we can do what we want in there pretty much. Our cap has actually gone up quite a bit, and it's reduced our influence income significantly, so I'm actually going to have to abandon a couple of these nations, otherwise we're not going to have any influence left. Doing this will leave them exposed. However, it will mean that we get some of our influence back. shut up because we've managed to grab a point back in France. Yeah, that's better, we'll live with that. Because if I can spend a bit of influence on this, there's a chance I could actually take the controlling point of it. Then it will be pretty much be ours. Better put a defend interest on our control point we do have in France already. Make sure we keep hold of it. Images of obvious alien military ships and structures in the far solar system has dashed hopes worldwide for peaceful contact. Many who wished to seek an avenue of cooperation with the aliens has changed their views in light of some of the first-hand facts about their arrival. So the Academy is another faction, which is this faction, and their goal is to convince the aliens that we are equals. And that clearly isn't going to happen. As people have seen the military ships and things, they've decided that they don't like the Academy anymore. All nations' cohesion moves by one towards extreme values, which also benefits us. We didn't get that purge mission, which is disappointing, but we can keep trying. We've managed to grab the clandestine cells, which is good. We can now get another councillor, and this increases our control point number significantly. Now we need to actually start thinking about what we're going to be doing a little bit later on. So really what I do want is I could do with a space station in orbit of Earth, which will give us a boost to our public campaign missions and things, which is this one, a social science lab. If we can get a few of these in orbit of Earth, we should have an easier time of actually gaining control of France, as this will add 1 strength to our successful public campaign missions if the module is in an Earth interface orbit, to a maximum of 9. We're going to have a dabble and get that researched. These are the other researches that are currently happening. I'm not going to invest in any of them, I just want to get our stuff sorted, really. I'm slowly going to be pulling the democracy down to one of our levels, which suits us more. I'm actually going to go full on the unity in there because I really want to wrestle it. It will give us more public opinion, reduce the democracy, which favours us, so we can hopefully sway more in that country and take care of the rest. As you can see in the countries that we are currently doing this in, the democracy level is reducing nicely for us. This will hurt the economy of France, but as long as we get control of it, everything is good. We've got a bit of a problem. People are absolutely panicking in one of our provinces in Africa. Rumours about alien experiments on people in the area have led to distrust of the government's ability to keep the people safe. Authorities are fearful of civil unrest. Now we can either let it run its course, which we may have to do. Cohesion in the country will move towards extreme values, yes, which is good. Unrest in the country will increase by 3. Now that is definitely towards the extreme. We're just going to have to let it run its course. If it goes, it goes.
Public.
And this is now in civil war. All well good. Oh, excellent. We've actually managed to grab the final point in the Benelux, giving us more control over the EU in general. We are now actually at 83% in Spain, which means we could start going towards a spaceflight program, or even getting an army built. That would be quite beneficial, actually, just in case we need to take these by force. We're gradually going to increase the unity, keep the economy ticking over, but we're going to focus 50% of all things on building the army in Spain now. This will give us an actual person to deal that we can move around and do things with. And we're going to do the same with these once we have gained sufficient numbers of unity, and in Benelux as well. So if we have to, we will take France by force. I'll try and restore peace in this country, seeing as it's now at civil war. We've got a good opportunity to take a point from Italy But we will be over our control point management, which isn't ideal. I want to keep these 3 in Africa just to see if we can do something with it. We've got 80 days, I think, before we can properly do something with it. Or even at least 120-ish. The rest we've abandoned, so that's going to not count towards our thing, which is fine. I may even do that with all of these other African nations and see if that will actually gradually build our bits up. Because we can still influence them, even if we've technically abandoned them, because the money still goes in the direction where we want it. So we may be able to do this without actually costing us too much money. Because at the moment, we cannot actually grab anything in France. We're just going to have to be patient. We'll try and grab all of Africa and see what happens. Or at least influence the way money is being spent. Might even do that in Italy because I can. Let's do that. We'll do it.
Removing our enemies.
We'll try and grab it. We will have to abandon it though. Oh wow, this is happened to my other one. The armies of Russia conquered Ukraine, but it may rise again. That is interesting. Now that is all part of Russia. Didn't think that was going to happen. Trying to choose a new councillor for us. Now this can be a little bit difficult. We've got this guy, which I've never seen before, an evangelist, which is a public figure whose influence is built around promoting an ideology to a sometimes fanatical cadre of followers, which is kind of what we want, really. His persuasion is quite good. We can do crackdowns pretty good with him. A few other things. We may have a dabble, see how good he is. We'll have a dabble. It won't can't hurt to grab him and set him to work. I'm going to try and go for a mass land grab and control all these nations. We are increasingly making it a little easier because the EU as a whole is reducing its want for other things. We're getting more popular. So if I start grabbing all these, influence them and then abandon them, the money should still be set to what I want it. So this looks like actually a good plan. But let's try and do it. All these other minor nations, let's try and grab them all. At the moment we can't do anything in France bar from prob them, so we're going to try this way. Even in Italy. I might leave Italy alone for the time being. We've now got orbital shipbuilding, which means we can start researching the shipbuilding capabilities in space. Not that we're anywhere near that yet. We have done our social science lab thing. The others are good. They'll give us increased bonuses to knowledge, investment and things, but we're not doing that right now. We may end up may just go for the alien origin for the time being. See what that does. We managed to grab these two partly, so we better make sure that we actually get these properly sorted. Spain's looking quite healthy now. We do have 84% and it's still going up. So we can knock one of them on the head and stick one on Unity. This is the distribution of the nodes. Stick one on welfare, sorry. Just because we do want to try and reduce that as much as we can. High inequality reduces cohesion, which is not what we want. So we do generally want to keep that in moderation, and it will gradually increase as we pump money into the economy. We need to keep that somewhat sorted. Benelux is still looking quite good. We just need to keep going with that. Poland still keep going, but it's nearly getting there now. The others need a bit more time yet. Now we've grabbed control points in these, we can start influencing their politics.
Acknowledged.
Need to make sure that we grab the whole country though, and then we're going to abandon it. But it's not really abandoned as such, it's more of a case of it's set to crack down, so the other people will be able to grab it easily, but it won't matter, as our people will be doing the things that we want them to anyway, unless they grab it, of course. Just need to maximize our possible influence in the EU. Already, if you have a look, We're starting to gain influence in Romania and Bulgaria just because, which is ideal. Try and grab Bulgaria as well. We've actually lost the Central African Republic due to a revolution. Oh well. Now it's going back to the old ways of spoils, which will just reduce everything. Now they've changed it now to unity as well. Got another alien base which has been created. It's happened in Chad as well. That's annoying. These were the experimental ones. Maybe I should have been paying a little bit more attention to what's going on here. We can grab them back. They are still friendly. Try to get Northern Balkan states first. And the rest of Bulgaria. Poland is nearly at the 80% mark, which is wonderful for the popularity here. Then we can start potentially getting an army there as well, as we may need to take over France by force. I'll be doing the same probably with the other nations, Hungary, Slovakia, and even the Baltic states and such. I may end up doing that. Don't think we'll be very successful in doing it though. They are allied with America and things. We'll just see. As long as we get more and more people involved and on our side, the European Union should eventually be ours. Then we can unify it all under one power and then keep hold of that forever. That will be wonderful. I'm going to try and stabilize Cameroon to a degree. At least so we don't have any more civil wars there. And then in a little while we'll grab one of these other countries again. I might do that. Oh no, we can't do that with this person. Might be able to do that with one of these though. Yes, we can. I'll just try and grab whichever one of these is better. We'll go for Chad. That's more stable right now. See if we can get a alliance with these two sorted, and see if we can create a federation, and then see if we can potentially unify them. If that's the case, I want to do that with the rest of Africa. Just like I said earlier. I'm going to continually be prodding France now. I'm going to keep trying to increase the unrest and everything else. Their control points are protected, so we can't actually do a proper dabble on them, so we're just going to keep prodding. If I continuously get our public presence missions keeping going and everything else, keep gradually getting the unity down, we should be good. For example, this, it's increased it by 3%. Doesn't sound like much, but if we keep doing that, it will go up. Not only that, oh, we were successful in increasing unrest, that's good. If we having a hold of these European countries actually gives us access to the boost which is shared throughout the EU, so we get more boost even though we don't necessarily have our own spaceflight sorted. And there's another alien fleet in orbit, and it's crashed in Russia. That can't be good. That definitely can't be good. Don't want them influencing the Russians. They have lots of nuclear weapons which we need to be wary of. We've actually managed to get Bulgaria now, which we're going to go full on with the unity 100%. Try and get this sorted for us as best as possible. Poland is now at 82%, which I'm more than happy with. I'm going to do the same with Poland with what I did with Spain, and start actually doing a bit of this. Reduce the unity spending, have the welfare on a blob, as everyone is all the same. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, it's really high actually. That is good, but we'll keep the welfare on slightly and begin building an army there. If it does come down to conflict, I want to be able to control our nations as best as we can. And not only that, but if the aliens are in Russia, then we may have to combat them. I want an army anyway, just in general, on several locations. I'm actually going to go for a defend our interests missions on all of these. I'm going to actually keep hold of them all, even though it is going to be hurting our influence. It will be drastically reduced in income. However, hopefully this will be the key that we need to securing the rest of Europe. I think, oh yeah, we've got to wait 180 days again Once we've done that, we can then see if we can get these in a federation, and then eventually see if we can actually get them to unify. Don't know if that's possible, but we're going to have a go. And I'm just going to legit just keep prodding France again and again and again. Continuously trying to increase unrest in there, and forever increasing our public opinion. Hopefully getting it ready so that when these do crumble, the defences, we should be able to snap one up. Just got loads of success in France in terms of public opinion. Oh, what? They've detained our person? No. Ah, they're going to be doing all sorts to her. That ain't good. Might be time to send them all underground again. That way they can't be detected. Is what we're going to have to do. Send them all to ground. She's been nicked.
Where do you need me?
So the operative is the one who has been stolen.
Standing by for orders.
Well, detained. We're not going to be able to get her back until she is released. What would be good is if we started, because I didn't realise this, but this tycoon lady can do a hostile takeover of organisations, which is fantastic. I do wonder if we can actually do that. Might be worth having a go at least. But first, we're going to need to do some intelligence on people. We can't do that until everyone's gone back to ground. She's the other one that can't. We're going to have to try and somehow increase her loyalty to some degree. New project available, which will give us access to the basic things that we need for spaceship construction weaponry. 30mm auto cannon, 6-inch cannon, a 10-inch cannon, some missiles, and gunship escort corvette kind of doodahs. We'll have to be looking at them in the future. Now, it would appear that they're going to try and have a dabble at the northern Baltic states. They've done a crackdown. Hopefully that won't initiate in the same turn. Oh, we can now technically go to missions to Mars, missions to the moon, space mining. Oh, may now be researched, and everything else. So that's real good. Hopefully we can actually start doing some of this. It will pop up somewhere that we can do the switching around. We can't yet because there's not a symbol down here to do so. But on here there are resources on the moon for us that we can potentially start grabbing. Looks like another spacecraft is crashing. That's not ideal. I do need to investigate that site. Well, this is interesting. The United Kingdom has, under the control of the Resistance, has ended their alliance with France. Now that is definitely interesting. This is why I want a few armies around, just in case the other factions decide they don't like us anymore. Because wars can break out between nations that you wouldn't expect. Our operative is still captured. So we can send our diplomat, or actually,
ready to go.
We could send the activist over to investigate the alien activity. And we're going to have our other man to control the nation of northern Baltic states to grab the other control point, and then we can set a defense up on it. Oh, but this lady can do it anyway, so we can do it with her. We'll do it in Bulgaria. Try and protect our things. Really, we need to do it in the Netherlands as well. The Resistance looks like they're trying to get their influence passed through us. That isn't going to happen though. We're now at a 76%, so I'm going to put another blob on Unity just to keep that there. I'm going to do that in Poland as well. Keep that high. Be a little while before our army's built. One thing that this guy can do,
At your service.
the Ian, he can actually inspire our men and women that work for us, which should increase their loyalty. We're going to gradually start doing that. That's going to be his job. Here we go. We are now able to undertake Outpost Core Project. Allows faction to found outposts. So now we can actually found the construction of an outpost core. Which should mean... Oh no, not on the moon, but on the Earth at least. Yeah, we can build a platform around the Earth, which we can gradually start potentially getting those stations sorted. Now, the more we build, the more boost it drains, because water and everything else needs to be shipped up there. And we also want to be able to save enough boost so that we can start mining operations on the moon. I'm going to save our boost for that. Once we've got armies, we'll then concentrate on the spaceflight program and see how we go from there. And on that note, I hope you have enjoyed this video so far. There's lots to look forward to. Really, we are just about getting started. We've managed to grab some parts of the EU, definitely spreading our influence around it. Slowly attempting to gain control of France, but it's proving difficult. And we're going to see if we can do anything with Africa. Whether we can or not is another story, but it's definitely worth having a dabble anyway. Hopefully the aliens won't get influence in Russia. It would appear that Project Exodus actually has that, which I believe are the ones which want to leave the Earth for survival. So we'll see what happens. Thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you in the next video, and I'll see you there. Let me know in your comments the thoughts. Got a Discord running, be sure to check it out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.